Hey everyone. Well, that didn't take long. Of course, CBC News. I mean, look at the hacks in that establishment and that crown, that crony corporation that lives off the forced wealth and income redistribution of average Canadians to subsidize their propagandist machinery, right? But they already started on the attacks. Maxime, the ink is barely dry on the formation of his new political party that's rising to challenge all these dominant established parties in Canada, whether it's the Liberals or the so-called Conservatives. Actually, I should say so-called Liberals too, or the New Democrat, should I say Socialists in Canada. Yeah, Canada, you're going to have a real option. And it's not just for Conservatives, not in any way stretch of the imagination. A Libertarian, that kind of philosophy, that kind of promotion of liberty represents both the social and economic sphere. So you liberals, or you people that identify as liberals or classical liberals or independents or people slightly close to the center or even left of center, yeah, you're going to have an option as well. This isn't just for conservatives. Maxime Bernier does not merely appeal to conservatives. Please. Libertarians get attacked from both sides of the political aisle because libertarians represent the proper philosophy in both social and economics in regards of being universally consistent, not giving little disclaimers of, oh, we'll give contradictions in our philosophy or our platform for certain groups, for certain entities or certain individuals. No, libertarians are all about being universally consistent in our morals, ethics, and principles. So liberals, genuine liberals, classical liberals for sure, libertarians, conservatives, independents, heck, even some of these anarchists from the left that are all against the government, big government. Hey, even you people should be on board with Maxime Bernier and the People's Party of Canada. Anyways, back to this roughly about a minute segment, this audio segment from Power and Politics, CBC, right? This Paul Wells character. Listen to the kind of rhetoric. Hey, will you follow the playbook of the anti-Trumpists, of the anti-Brexiteers, of those, like these establishment hacks, these insiders, these people who are part of the political and ruling class and the pundit class. All they want to do is constantly talk down upon the people who support candidates or political parties that want to break through the establishment, who want to break through the status quo and try something different for once, or at least to have their voice and their platform heard by the people, by the masses, right? And that, like I say, that's what competition is all about. That's what the competition of ideas is all about, is allowing everybody to say what they've got to say and give the people genuine choice instead of playing this game where you got in Canada, like in Canada, three parties that basically function within a very small confine of the political spectrum. They're all collectivists. Maxime and people like Tim Moen, they stand for individualism, right? So libertarianism versus authoritarianism, collectivism versus individualism, and forget about the left-right paradigm. Because let's face it, most human beings, or I would basically say all human beings, with maybe some few exceptions or outliers, yeah, they care about both social and economic freedoms. There should be no left or right. People shouldn't just care about one side and not the other. People should care about all issues that affect their life, socially and economically. And if you care about freedom, libertarianism, like I say, is the future. But just listen to what this political hack, what this media pundit has to say about Maxime's new party and those who support him.
As for Bernier, look, there's no part of his stance on immigration and identity that is libertarian. He wants to lead a libertarian party, and he also wants to lead an anti-immigrant party. His supporters on Twitter seem to be that tiny Venn intersection of people who think it's great that Donald Trump is the president of the United States and people who think that Maxime Bernier would be like Donald Trump. You cannot have been paying much attention to Max Bernier over the last 20 years to entertain that fantasy very far. So basically, his voter base right now is the stupidest people on Twitter. And so we'll see how far that gets him.
I'm sure, his little tiny base of collectivists, right? These people that have apparently no capacity to think critically about anything this man said, right? These people that are conformists to their political masters. I'm sure he can, throw that kind of red meat to them, and they'll like it. They'll love it. They'll soak that up like a sponge. But think about the rest of the Canadian people. This guy is trying to suggest that libertarians, the people that are actually promoting genuine freedom and liberty, right, and personal responsibility and accountability, that these are the kind of people, they're the stupidest people. No, it's not anyone that supports any of the established parties or socialism, right? Or Trudeau and his... I mean, think about the gaffes and the idiocy that represents the Trudeau Liberals, right? No, none of these people, they all pale in comparison. They're all intellectual heavyweights and geniuses. But people who support Maxime Bernier, who stands for genuine freedom and liberty, and actually reducing the size and scope of government, central planners, the big gigantic gun room, instead of using massive amounts of force, violence, compulsion, and coercion against the masses, Max is saying, well, let's not do that so much. And another thing, in regards to he's saying that about Maxime being anti-immigrant, Maxime has never said anything of the sort, and neither has people like myself. Neither has anyone in the Libertarian Party of Canada. It's all about being responsible, folks. It's just about being adults and being responsible. You can't have a mass influx of immigrants to the tune of what we have now. Between now and 2020, they want to bring in 1 million people in a country that's only represented now about 36, 37 million. That's a huge shift, folks. And then you got the illegal asylum seekers. And then you got the Syrian refugees. I mean, no. These people, once again, they're trying to play politics. And they're trying to use guilt, fear, and division as a means to suppress any outsider's voice. To suppress anyone's ability to stand up and have a genuine conversation or debate that really needs to happen in this country. These people constantly want to stifle and shut down any dissenting voices. That's all they care about. They want to be able to railroad over anybody's objection or opposition to the political orthodoxy that they espouse. This tells you who are the true authoritarians. And listen to the little laugh he gave at the end. Like, what? Who the... Man, think about it. Do you know how much I would love to have a conversation with this Paul Wells? Do you know how much I would love to send this man packing with his tail tucked between his legs and give him a real reality check on his ego? Because his ego's writing checks that his body and his mind can't cash. But he's going to find that out, just like how many other times in the past these political hacks have been proven to be wrong and out of touch with reality. Once again, he's going to have to acknowledge and confront just how out of touch he is at some point in time. So I guess, really, I don't really need to say much more about it. Just let reality unfold, and he'll suffer as a consequence of his own words, of his own rhetoric, of his own actions. I guess the rest of us don't really need to say much. It's just point to him and say, look at the ridiculousness of this man. Look at the kind of rhetoric he's espousing, and tell me if that is a genuine representation of someone who actually cares about freedoms and liberty in this country. I don't think so. And I doubt you do either. It's Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.